Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be when the narcissist can't hide anymore. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So hiding, that's something that the narcissist does extremely well. Until when? That's right, until they can't do it any longer. More and more people on the planet now are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And the narcissist only has so many places left to hide. Eventually, there won't be any place left to hide for them anymore. Now, that day isn't going to be today and it won't be tomorrow, but that day is approaching. You see, the clock is ticking for the narcissist. The clock is ticking for toxicity. All the nooks and crannies that used to hold the melted butter and used to hide the narcissist. That's a reference to a Thomas's English muffin commercial from years ago, if you're old enough to remember. They can't do that any longer. You see, those nooks and crannies are being filled up with what is called wisdom. They're being filled up with what is called boundaries, healing, people who have been in the narcissistic abusive cycle, people who have put themselves back together against all odds, against insurmountable odds, if you will. People who had their divorce being dragged out year after year needlessly. People who had child custody, appointments, arrangements, meetings, seeing therapists, counselors, and people that didn't know what was going on behind the scenes dragged out longer and longer. You see, more and more people are understanding it wasn't just them. It was their neighbors, it was their colleagues, it was their sisters, their brothers, it was their friends, their families, it was the people at the beauty parlor, it was the people at the massage parlor, it was the people at the acupuncture studio. Everybody is now understanding what toxicity is. Now, way back when, before I created the channel, which was March 31st, 2021, people would be thinking, and I was one of those people, most people would be thinking, what is toxic or toxicity? Well, it was usually an oil barrel with a skull and crossbones on it, meaning don't touch, there's toxic chemicals or something inside of that. Or if you really want to go back old school, and years and years ago, there was a sticker called Mr. Yuck. It was a green sticker with a person, probably, this is one of the first emojis ever, the more I think about it. It had a green tongue sticking out. They used to put it on bottles underneath the kitchen cabinet for little children to realize, don't touch it. It's Mr. Yuck. It's not good for you. That's toxic. Well, now fast forward to present day. We're almost in 2026. We now know what toxicity is. It has 2 legs, 2 feet. It looks just like you, it sounds like you, it acts like you, it mimics you, it steals your identity, it steals everything it can from you, and yes, it is the narcissist and so many other toxic people that perhaps are even worse than that person. Having said all these things, the narcissist, A, know what they're doing, B, they continue to repeat the cycle, C, they realize that they're trapped, and if they're trapped, they want to trap other people and use those people as fuel sources. But D, eventually, there will be no place left for the narcissist to hide. None of the 4 corners of the planet will be able to hide the narcissist. Social media is growing more in population, more in people using it, I should say. Many people are developing their own brands. They are now creating channels, and they are now becoming more and more financially independent, stable in a mindset, and understanding what the cycle is, the narcissistic abusive cycle. Now, the last part, what I shared and why I threw that in there, is I'm referring specifically to people who have gone through the cycle. I'm not referring to somebody who claims that they know what narcissism is and they can identify what gaslighting is and they know what the silent treatment is and all that. Those people may know the books, the book definitions and the behaviors because they study it. I get it, I'm not discounting that. What I'm talking about is the people who were trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle for any length of time. May have been a day, a week, a month, a year, a decade, may have been your lifetime. Maybe this is the first video you're ever consuming. But those of us who have figured it out on our own, because we were not educated on this toxicity level, or that people could be this way, and that we began to heal and eventually healed, and we eventually arrived at that place that I call the mountaintop or the pinnacle of indifference. That's where I am standing. Although right now, truth be told, I'm sitting down, but I am at the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference. You see, I have paid the huge tuition that it cost me to acquire the wisdom. And yes, that's being trapped in the narcissistic abusive relationship. Not a pleasant experience, to say the least. Not a good experience, to be mimicked, to be mocked, to have your life energy, your life force, your health, your time, your money, your relationships, all of it sucked out of you, every bit of it. And then to be crumbled up like a sheet of paper, thrown away on the freeway, left for dead, Yes, that's what happened to me. And my hope, unfortunately, is not what happened to you, but probably something similar happened to you. Any way you cut it, you made it this far in the video, and you have a certain wisdom, you have a certain character, you have a certain yearning for the answers to the questions that you have had, and perhaps you still do have. You see, at one point, we were all what is known as the new supply. Who is the new supply? The new supply can be anybody. It can be anybody who is naive, who is vulnerable, who is believing, who is trusting, and who is looking to help another person out. It can be any of those things and or all 4 or 5 of those things rolled up in a bundle. One thing this toxic person you're considering looks for is they look for an opening, any opening at all. It could be that maybe you got a flat tire and they're willing to give you a ride home from work. It could be that you need a couple $100 loan till payday and they loan you some money. It could be that they need a ride to the airport, or they need a ride to the gym, or they need a workout buddy, or maybe they just want to take a couple classes in the yoga studio and see if it's for them, and the next thing you know, they have infiltrated the studio. Or maybe they're looking for a handout financially, like just put a roof over their head for a period of time. Or maybe they're looking for a person to just be there for them and be on the phone, or give them access. You see, these toxic people are literally everywhere. Now, by no means am I a doom and gloomer. I don't believe everyone on the planet's toxic, anything but. What I would say is all it takes is one of these toxic creatures to destroy hundreds, if not thousands of lives. And you may say right now, well, you're being a little rough, Andrew. How can one person destroy 1,000 lives? Look in any history book from any culture, from any period of time. It's littered all throughout the history books. And those are only fabrications of the truth or partial truths, whatever you want it to call history books. I am not saying that history did or did not exist. I'm saying that it probably always has a little edge slanted towards whoever the author was or whoever was being told to author the history books. You see, you don't need a history book. You already have it in your mind. You have the wisdom. You're acquiring the tools. You know what gaslighting is. You know what silent treatment is. You know what triangulation is. You know what financial abuse is, and so much more. And this is why the stronger you get, the weaker these toxic people get. The weaker they get, the more clear your mind gets. The clearer your mind gets, the less you doubt yourself. The less you doubt yourself, the more you believe in yourself. The more you believe in yourself, the less these people have access to you. The less they have access to you, the less places they have to hide anymore. See, everything comes full circle. Every single thing goes full circle. You're now understanding that. You're learning that you are stronger than you know. You're learning that you don't quit. You don't ever quit. You're learning you don't give up. You don't ever give up. You're learning that you were captured like a person who was in a mental prison, if you will, an invisible prison. And that is what is known as the trauma bond. You were also placed in the devaluation stage. You probably experienced the love bomb, and then you were most likely discarded. Any way you cut it, that relationship has either ended or it's about to end, and you have either planned your exit strategy or you're about to. You now know that the further you get away from the toxic person, the stronger you will become. It will sting for a while. It will be difficult. You will have to break the 4 ties: the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and yes, the spiritual tie. And I coined that term years ago because it's true. No truer words have ever been said, but nobody can cut those ties for you. You will have to do this, and it will take take a lot of time. But in your time, you will heal if you utilize the tools that I provide for you with each and every video, and from all the beautiful comments from all over the world. You see, the dark energy doesn't want you to heal. The dark energy wants you stuck. The dark energy wants you dependent or reliant upon them. The dark energy wants you needing them, wants you pining for them, wants you giving them opportunities. That's the lure. That's the crux. That's the main tie to the dark energy, because they know who you are. They knew who you were. I'll rephrase that. They knew who you were. They don't know who you are, and they overplayed their hand, and they always overplay their hand. That's why these toxic people will keep appearing in your life over and over and over again until you get the message. And I was no different. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I am the teacher. I was a student. Truth be told, I'm more of a student than a teacher, but I wear both hats, and my hope is that you do the same thing. You should always be learning. You should always be growing. You should always be teaching when you can, when your cup is full. But until that day happens or arrives, you need to focus on yourself, control what you can control, and realize that the narcissist very soon, if not even today, they eventually will have no place to hide. They'll have no place to run to any longer. They can use all the smear campaigns they want. They can paint all the narrative. They can use all the flying monkeys, the enablers, the unpaid helpers, the walking apart. They can do whatever they want to do. But the key here for this video, and I'm going to close it because it's going to be shorter, is that you're out. You're not trapped any longer. You see that relationship for what it was. It wasn't what you thought it was or what you were told it was. It was what it was, which was a life-threatening, debilitating, taxing, challenging relationship. It spun your world upside down. It took everything out from underneath you, including your health, time, money, relationships, your hobbies, maybe even your belief in humanity to a degree. And then again, you had to figure it out and put yourself back together just like I did. Eventually, something gave, something broke, something snapped, and not just with the ending of the relationship, but with you figuring out that all of your energy needs to go into yourself, not into the bottomless pit, which is known as the narcissist. They never thought you would ever be strong enough to figure it out. They never thought you'd be strong enough to go no contact. They never thought you'd be strong enough to see behind the mask and to believe in yourself and to stop believing in their false narrative. But that's what you've done, or that's what you're doing. Before I close the video, understand something. Eventually, there is no place for these people to hide any longer. And right now, you may be saying to yourself, well, not really. The narcissist I knew, the person I'm considering, they're on their 5th marriage by now. And they're living in a palace, and they have 5 cars and fancy watches, and they have butlers and chauffeurs and maids and all these things. Well, that may be so. But remember, everything isn't how it appears to be. And just because somebody has access to amenities via somebody else's financial means, meaning probably the person you're considering stole that money or married into money because that person they married was a widow or widower and they just inherited money. There was a reason. It's not because they love them, not even for a second. But just because somebody has financial access or means doesn't mean that the demons don't keep spinning around in their mind. It doesn't mean that they can't sit, that they won't be able to sit still. What it means is they will still have to deal with the ramifications of the toxicity they've dished out throughout the years. Those ghosts, those demons that will haunt them forever inside their brain, they don't go away. They stay with them as long as they're on this planet in a human form. And you may say, well, that's a little deep. Why would you say that, or why would you know that? Well, because I'll tell you right now, when you've healed and you've seen things you never thought you would see, you can't unsee them. And when you saw the narcissist unravel when you were in the relationship, despite the fact that you didn't know what narcissism was, but because you couldn't put 2 and 2 together, then you can go back in time and say, oh my gosh, that's what that was. See, you don't forget, you remember. You don't go stay in the past. You live in the present moment. You don't predict the future. You create your abundant future. That's what you do. So whereas you're healing, the narcissist is reeling. Whereas you've reached the pinnacle or the mountaintop of indifference, or you're striving to get there, the narcissist is still stuck in that low vibrational state. And those demons will continue to play around and around and around. And the narcissist could, again, I'll say it one more time, they could have their own time zone, their own country, their own galaxy or solar system. They can't escape themselves. They can't escape that demon that runs around and it tells them things. And they can't escape reality of all of the destruction they've created in hundreds, if not thousands, of people's lives. And that will all come back to roost. It will all come back to catch up with them. I can't tell you when, I can't tell you where, and I can't tell you how. What I can say is this: I don't wish ill will upon anybody, and I'm not going to start now. I've always taken the high road, and I did it beginning the day of the discard up until and including this right now. That's counting post-narcissistic relationship, but true story. I've been doing it my whole life, which is why I was targeted my whole life. And I was meant to get the message when I got it. And when I got it, it floored me. But look at me now. I'm here, I'm paying it forward. I'm stronger than ever. I'm galvanized. I'm in the 3rd version of myself. You will get there if you're not there yet. But you need to be stoic, be patient, be kind, and be polite with yourself on the journey. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint, and it will take time. So remember, the narcissist eventually will have nowhere left to hide. They can't escape the darkness that haunts them, and they can't escape that bottomless pit that can never, and I mean never, be filled permanently. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Understand something before I close this video. You are stronger than you know. Believe in yourself always. Continue to focus on yourself. Continue to control what you can control. Continue to become awakened and aware, educated and empowered. And eventually, if you haven't done it yet, please take this one simple action, which I shouldn't have said simple, this one action which will benefit you way more than you'll ever know. Go no contact. Block that person. Delete them. Remove them and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? If today isn't the day to do it, we'll continue to cut the tethers. And I'll say it again, The emotional, financial, physical, and spiritual tethers. Continue to work on freeing yourself from those, because they don't happen by themselves. It's going to take work, and that work will land you one day at the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye.